Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. In this video, we only want to talk about the shorter time frame. In the previous video today, I took a look at the daily time frame. Anybody who's new on this channel, feel free to check out my previous Bitcoin video in which we also covered the daily time frame. We typically do that on a daily basis, once a day. In one of the Bitcoin videos, we cover the daily time frame as well. Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin here on the shorter time frame. Here we've seen obviously not too much more movement than I already talked about in my previous video. However, Bitcoin pushed a little higher. I've played around a little bit with the microstructures and I think I've got my preference here, my preferred count, and I will talk about that. So first of all, maybe for anybody who is new on the channel, the current base case is that wave 4, this fourth wave here, bottomed on the 23rd of January. This has been my preferred scenario since we've seen a 5-wave pattern here to the upside and the 3-wave pullback. Yeah, so the idea was 5 waves up. Okay, let's put a support area onto the chart, which we did. An additional one to the yellow one anyway, which was already a trading area and let's say trend reversal area. So we've already put that onto the chart. And because we saw 5 waves up from the lows on the 23rd of January, I could give you basically a bullish outlook. Now, it still obviously isn't crystal clear that indeed the wave 4 has bottomed. So there is obviously still a risk that this is just a corrective rally, which just technically speaking doesn't really have a limit. There are no real limits for B-wave corrective rallies. But obviously we give it the benefit of the doubt because we've seen 5 waves up. Then I typically... So if minimum expectations in a pullback are fulfilled, and then we see a 5-wave rally, I typically give it the benefit of the doubt, which also in this case was the right choice. So I always tell you what I'm leaning to, and currently the primary scenario is still higher prices, which so far was the right approach to take, the correct approach to take. We've been bullish about Bitcoin for more than a year now, or at least a year, and I've seen this as a bullish cycle for Bitcoin, which was the correct approach. Because always what I like to do, I like to just go with the trend. All right. I did post that on Twitter earlier today. That I don't have it open right now, but it was something around, and it's very important in my opinion. It helped me a lot. That trading and analyzing what I see is so much more helpful than trading or analyzing what I think should happen. So I always try to lean towards what the market is showing me right now. And what do we see? We've seen 5 waves up from the 23rd of January low. We see another move to the upside, which looks impulsive. We have the wave count. The wave count allows me to add a support zone to the chart, which has been adjusted, I think, slightly since the last video because the price made a marginally higher high. And well, that means we are leaning bullish as long as we're holding above the pivot, above the support area. Okay, so of course there is a short-term bearish scenario, which I explained also in detail in the previous video. But for the short-term bearish scenario to be basically relevant, or to gain relevance and increase probabilities and make it the primary scenario, I need to see a break below 46,665. So I'm not telling you it's not going to happen or anything. Yeah, it could happen, but it takes a break below that 50% retracement level to confirm. Until then, obviously, we're watching for this 4th wave finally to start. And that is wave 4 of wave 3 in the white count, which is more bullish, which should still see another 4-5 pattern afterwards. Or it's wave 4 in wave C of the larger B wave, which could lead to a breakdown. But in both scenarios, I think another 4-5 pattern is still missing. That would be my preference. Can I rule out that yesterday's swing low was just a shallow shallow circle wave 4 already? No, I cannot rule that out. But I don't find it very reliable. So my view is still that we are currently in this circle wave 3. A circle wave 4 should still happen. Then circle wave 5. That would be ideal. And then after that, we get the big decision point, because it could be the top of the B wave or the top of wave 3. Again, I'm leaning towards the white count as long as my micro support levels are not broken to the downside. Okay, so let's take a look. I hope that was sort of clear. I will try to keep it as simple as possible, but also include all the details for anybody who's a wave nerd like I am. Obviously, the market sort of is respecting here this pattern that we've had on the chart, this sort of trend channel or ascending wedge pattern, ascending broadening wedge. So that's currently being respected. I already posted on Discord and Telegram earlier today that this is likely wave 5 of circle wave 3 still. And that wave 5 target range here between 51,707 and 53,914. The 38.2 extension is sort of first resistance. I think ideally it could still stretch a little higher, but already fulfilled, minimum expectations. And this is obviously one of the fib levels I get when trying to measure a target for wave 5 of circle wave 3. It basically takes, a break below that trend line, I'd say, to confirm that finally circle wave 4 is unfolding and that some kind of a top is in place. And then we can track, okay, is that circle wave 4 or is it something more bearish? But as long as we're holding that support area, I'm still leaning towards higher prices because the wave count still allows for higher prices. It is pretty much extended, yes, but the wave count technically is not necessarily full. That doesn't mean it couldn't go down. Surely it could go down from here. That's why we have the support area on the chart. Otherwise, we wouldn't need stop losses or anything. But it means that the likelihoods are still high that we get further extension to the upside, and I'm leaning towards the probabilities. I always try to align my perspective with probabilities, and I find it more likely that we get at least one more high in circle wave 5. Support area, I think all you need to know at this stage is, okay, there is some resistance at 51,707. Could possibly even stretch to 53,914 in circle wave 3 now. Any pullback should not break below the orange box, or we already have the top of the B wave. If that happens, we should revisit the yellow box. And that basically gives you also a quick summary here. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.